Hey, Joe, Tim is here. With the sad passing of the great Robert Duvall last week, I decided to go ahead and do my top 10 favorite Robert Duvall films. Because he, of course, was a living legend. He's, of course, got nominated a couple of times. Won here and there. The guy was just one of the best. So, here is my official top 10 favorite Robert Duvall films. All right, coming in at number 10 is probably an underrated film here, and it's the Apostolo. I can never pronounce the first name too well, but it, of course, stars the likes of Robert Redford. You had Billy Bob Thornton. You had Farrah Fawcett, Miranda Richardson, and it's of course where this Pentecostal preacher reinvents himself after committing a couple of crimes, building like a new congregation while like hiding from his past here, and here you got Duvall who plays Sonny Duvall, who's this flawed preacher whose faith is secure here, and he does such a good job throughout. It is a really like decent western film as well. Duvall, of course, directed a pretty decent, really good little film there. All right, number 9 is actually the last time he got an Oscar nomination, and that is The Judge. Now, The Judge, starred Robert Downey Jr. You had Vera Farmiga, the aforementioned Billy Bob Thornton. Billy Bob Thornton and Robert Duvall worked tons of times together. I mean, it kind of makes me a little sad that we never got to see Duvall appear in Landman. That I always thought maybe like Robert Duvall would. All due respect to Sam Elliott and stuff. This is off topic, obviously. All due respect to Sam Elliott, I was a little surprised they didn't get Robert Duvall to play Bill Bob Thornton instead, but that's unfortunate. But of course, The Judge, you guys don't know, is about like this big city lawyer who returns to his hometown when his estranged father, the judge, is accused of murder here. And The Judge was actually directed by David Dobkin, who was always best known for doing comedies. He did Wedding Crashers, he did Fred Claus and stuff. So this was a little different, turnaround for him. And Robert Duvall, of course, got a Oscar nomination. Obviously, he lost out to J.K. Simmons, which, hey, Duvall was great in The Judge. Ain't no way he was going to beat out Simmons that year. Let's prefer that. But still, The Judge is great. If you guys never seen it, it was actually the movie that, really tried to showcase if Robert Downey Jr., because obviously at the time he was more known for the MCU and all. It was kind of around time where people were trying to wonder if like Robert Downey Jr. could actually open up a film that where he did not have the Iron Man suit on. Sadly, that didn't go well with this one because sadly The Judge did not really do too well with it. It did well with critics and stuff. Didn't really do well in the box office, which is unfortunate. But The Judge was really good. If you guys haven't seen it, give that one a go. All right, number 8 is Days of Thunder. Of course, directed by the late great Tony Scott, starring Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman. Now, this is of course where like a talented but reckless race car driver, rises through NASCAR ranks while learning discipline here. And you got Duvall who plays Henry Hodge, who's like this veteran crew chief who mentors Cruise's cocky driver. I always thought of Days of Thunder as, let's say, Top Gun with cars. That's why I always thought of this here. Now, there's still talks about doing a sequel. I hope if they do a sequel to Days of Thunder, they'll most likely have some sort of tribute to Robin Duvall, I'm guessing. But yeah, Days of Thunder is really good. Of course, Nicole Kidman. Tom Cruise is great in this one. If you guys never seen Days of Thunder, give it a go. It's a really interesting and entertaining one. All right. Number 7, speaking of Billy Bob Thornton, by the way, this is where, of course, Duvall actually did play his dad, and that is Sling Blade. This is a great film that Billy Bob Thornton directed. You had Dwight Yoakam, J.T. Walsh, the late, great John Ritter, Lucas Black, years before, Fast and Furious fame. And this is, of course, where, like, this, man played by Billy Bob Thornton, released from a mental institution, forms a bond with this young kid and his mother. And you have Duvall who plays Billy Bob Thornton's dad, mostly during flashbacks here. And his kid, like, he doesn't really have too much to do, like, too much screen time. It's more told through flashbacks here. But he does such a good job throughout. Really an intense character here. His like he does such a good job throughout here too. I mean, it's a really decent role to say the least. All right, number six is I believe this is actually the one that actually got me. Yeah, he actually won an Oscar for this. Tender Mercies. Directed by Brian Beresford, who will go on to direct Driving Miss Daisy. This stars the likes of Tess Harper, Betty Buckley, many others. It is about a washed-up country singer who struggles with alcoholism and seeks redemption through like a new marriage and family here. And this is, I think, one of his better performances. He really does such a good job throughout. Definitely a well-deserving Oscar win. Really, a really wonderful performance. All right, number five is Falling Down. Duvall was great in this one. It's directed by Joe Schumacher, starring Michael Douglas. It's about like this a laid off the worker who snaps in LA, embarking on a violent odyssey across the city. And you got Duvall who plays like this Sergeant Martin Prendergast, who is the one who's trying to get on the trail. The end scene, the confrontation between the two is great. It's such a really good film. Joe Schumacher directed this wonderfully. Really intense throughout. I mean, Michael Douglas, one of his best performances too. Highly recommend Falling Down. Number four is Colors. Of course, this movie paired up Robert Duvall with Sean Penn, directed by Dennis Hopper. It is, of course, where like two LAPD officers patrols gangs heavily neighborhoods clashing in philosophy here. And the chemistry with Sean Penn and Robert Duvall, this was obviously, where Sean Penn was coming off of the teen film Fast Times and stuff. His like chemistry with Robert Duvall is great. Definitely a really decent, gritty cop movie that I think doesn't really get talked about as much, but it is a really good one there. All right, number three is Network, directed by the great Sidney Lumet. Of course, starring Pierre Finch, Faye Dunaway, and believe it or not, Robert Duvall was actually the only one of the main cast who did not even get an Oscar nomination, which is insane to be honest. Yeah. But this is of course where like a television network exposing a immensely unstable anchor's honor breakdown here, and you got Duvall who plays Frank Hackett, who's a ruthless network executive who prioritizes profits and ratings over antics here, and it's a really decent interesting portrayal here. Network is really intriguing. Sidney Lumet did a great job with this one. If you guys haven't seen it, give that one a go. All right. Number two is Apocalypse Now. Of course, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. Set during the Vietnam War, where like Captain Willard is sent of course sent up driver into Cambodia to take down like rogue Colonel Kurtz here. And Duvall plays like Lieutenant Colonel Bill Kilgore, who's the surfing obsessed officer who delivers like the iconic "I love the smell of napalm" here. It's such a really decent, like one of the better Vietnam War movies there is. Marlon Brando, a very young Lawrence Fishburne, Dennis Hopper, Martin Sheen, some really great cast members throughout. It is definitely one of the best war movies you'll see to date. It's intense at times, great performances throughout. It's such a really good one there. And of course, his best work, obviously, is The Godfather, the first two, that is. Directed by Francis Ford Coppola, starring Marlon Brando, Al Pacino, James Caan, Diane Keaton. Of course, you got Duvall, who plays Tom Hagen, who's a Cornyn family's intelligence concierge here. And he definitely delivers some really great moments throughout. Really decent portrayal here of mob life here. It's such a good one. I mean, obviously one of the greatest motion pictures ever. Great performances from Marlon Brando to Al Pacino to Duvall. A great portrayal here. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Here's my quick rundown. Number 10, The Obstacle. 9, The Judge. 8, Days of Thunder. 7, Sling Blade. 6, Tender Mercenaries. 5, Falling Down. 4, Colors. 3, Network. 2, Apocalypse Now. And 1 is The Godfather. Now, there are a few other ones I could have included as well. I mean, I could have done a top 15 instead, to be honest. Let me see. What else we got here? All right, a few others I could have included. His first movie, To Kill a Mockingbird. Let's see, The Chase, Countdown. Oh yeah, I forgot he was a Bullet with Steve McQueen. I forgot he was in that. MASH, the movie version that is. Let's see, Lawman, Joe Kidd, The Great Santini, which also got him an Oscar nomination. True Confessions, Natural with Robert Redford. We lost 2 Roberts in a year. That's unfortunate. He was in the Handmaid's Tale, the movie version that is. Rambling Rose, Newsies, The Pledge, The Paper, which is also unfortunate that he's actually the second actor from Ron Howard's movie The Paper to pass away in a year span, because of course Catherine O'Hara recently just passed away. He was also in The Scarlet Letter. That's another really good one. Let's see, The Gingerbread Man, A Silver Action, Deep Impact, Secondhand Lions with Haley Joel Osment, Open Range with Kevin Costner, Kicking and Screaming with Will Ferrell, Thank You for Smoking, Lucky You, We Own the Night, Crazy Heart with Jeff Bridges, Get Low, Jay Mansfield's Car, which I didn't really. That's actually the movie that Billy Bob Thornton directed. I didn't really care for that film itself, but he was actually a scene still in it. Wild Horses, which was actually his last movie he directed. Let's see, what else we got here? Idupus Battle, which was the Viola Davis film. 12 Mighty Orphans. A Night in Mexico. Oh yeah, I forgot he was in the Jack Reacher movie with Tom Cruise. Hustle with Adam Sandler. That was a really good love film, by the way. His last movie was A Pale Blue Eye with Christian Bale. I mean, talk about wide-ranging credits on his name. Let me ask you guys, what is some of your favorite Robert Redford films? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Tim signing.